Welcome to
No Fucking Filter. It's season 2, bitches.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Very good. Welcome, you guys. Welcome back to the NFF podcast.
Yeah, welcome back.
Today we are talking about
Wedding regrets.
yes.
Yeah,
We asked the public, we asked our followers to give us their top wedding regrets, and we
Yeah.
have a really good list for you guys.
we do. I feel like there's so many things that you kind of stress over or plan for, little things that really don't matter at the end of the day. So from people that have had a wedding, these are regrets and what they wish they did differently.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So if you are getting married in the future, you can take these into account.
Yeah.
Try to
There was
minimize
quite a
these.
few that were like pretty similar.
Yeah,
Some
overlap.
similar themes.
Yeah,
So
totally.
We're going to dissect them all.
I think the top one that we actually heard was inviting too many people or inviting people that they didn't want to invite.
Yeah.
Wild. I actually
Wild.
thought it was going to be the no videographer.
Coming from a videographer. Should we start with a little cheers?
Oh, yeah,
first?
we should. Sorry, I just jumped right in.
Yeah, you're just so ready to go.
Let's go.
Fired up.
Cheers.
Cheers. Yeah, so I think what we're going to do is just kind of go through the list, read them out, and give our 2 cents because everyone's dying to know what we think. But let's maybe talk about the one you just mentioned.
Yes. So let me pull up a couple. I'll just read them straight from here. But having too many people because that's what our parents wanted was a big one.
I think I got like 3 or 4 of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a good one. Same thing. Tables 16 and 17. 10 years later, haven't talked to them since the wedding. So like that correlates to inviting people, too many people.
Yeah.
Oh.
So a lot of it was like inviting people that parents wanted to have.
True.
What's your views on that? Should parents be allowed to invite people?
Yes. To an extent, I think there needs to be a boundary, but like if they are paying for the majority of the wedding or they have maybe they need like someone to talk to at the wedding too, maybe, right? So they could bring a +1 or like, having boundaries around it. But I said yes to be controversial, but really in my mind, I'm like, it's a no.
Literally biting my tongue right now because I want to argue with you.
Go ahead.
So
Let's hear the no side.
I think it's your day.
Yeah.
And it's not your parents' day. They already had that. And it's, yes, maybe they're paying, so they should have some say. But I think if you're accepting payment from parents, you kind of have to set some boundaries right away. Like, we would love to take this money as a gift.
Yes,
but
gift.
Here, like, you're not paying us off here.
That's so true.
I don't know. I just always think, how weird would it be at your wedding? You just see some person there that you don't know.
No, I know.
Or someone that you don't like. Or whatever.
Well,
like,
this is where these regrets are coming from. They've probably it's so awkward to have to give a hug to some random person you don't even know. And having the pressure from family members, we've talked about this in season 1, it is not, everyone deals with it in different ways.
Yeah.
And it's about managing the expectations and the boundaries with your parents.
Yeah. And I think everyone in that room, their vibes and their personalities contribute to the whole feel of the day. So if you have 5 or 10 people there that you don't vibe with, guess what? They're bringing the mood down.
That's so true.
So yeah, I think just being very clear, and it sucks to have hard conversations. I feel like neither of us are very good at that in our own lives. But I think just being very clear with parents, especially if you're taking money, and saying, sorry, we'd love to take this money, but, you can't bring anyone.
Your parents can host a dinner party of their own and invite their friends there.
Maybe they throw the engagement party or have a brunch after or something.
Yeah.
It's not like a social event for parents, I don't think.
No, but they try and make it into one.
Yeah, and then you live with the regret for the rest of your life.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say no as well.
Would you?
I just said yes because I wanted to I think that there are limits to it, but obviously in this regard for these regrets, like people are probably inviting their whole freaking friends and coworkers.
If it's like a family friend who's friends with the couple as well,
that's a different story.
Then that's a different story. But it's really like, who do you want there on your day?
Exactly.
You probably don't want your dad's coworker.
No.
Didn't we say this a long time ago? Someone's dad invited their dentist or something.
Yes.
That's too far.
Wild. That is too far.
Yeah. And then what about the inviting too many people?
Yes.
Like aside from the parents, we got multiple people saying they wish they didn't invite so many people.
Yeah. And we kind of spoke about this in the Danny episode, right? She said client, your guest experience is really big. And when you have too many guests, it can become really expensive. So I see this as a trend going forward, right? Like people are having more intimate weddings and only inviting the people that they love and they want there. A huge thing is on the wedding day, when you have too many people, you can't actually even see half of them.
Yeah.
And even the smaller weddings, you still feel pulled away, not even being able to chat with everyone. So I feel like
it also affects the size of venue.
Yeah.
A lot of things. Yeah. Cost, maybe the quality of the food you're going to have, because now you have to feed more people. So I think just being really intentional, going through that guest list, and there might be people that are your friends now, but I think it's a good idea to kind of take a really hard look and be like, okay, wait, in 5 years, if we don't party anymore and we have kids and our life changes, are these still going to be friends that are going to be with us going forward? So
true. I actually saw a TikTok recently that the guy was talking about friendships and talking about there's leaves, branches, and roots.
Oh, okay.
And so I think you could kind of apply that when you're thinking of who to invite. Your roots are just going to be the people that you can lean on and everything. The branches are the people that are there always, but you can't put too much pressure on them, otherwise they'll break.
Yeah.
And then the leaves just come and go as the seasons kind of thing. So
that's so interesting.
Yeah, I thought it was really, really cool
I love that
analogy. But kind of thinking, who are your roots? Who's going to be there? Who has been there? Who's always going to be there for those dark periods? Those are amazing people to be invited. But the leaves, they gotta go. They go.
It's fall.
You never
Get those
know.
leaves out of here.
But I love that. Smart.
Yeah, I think really having a concrete number and being no, we're sticking to that. Because it's so hard. You're well, if we invite this person, we have to invite that person. But you gotta really put some thought into it.
Totally. Yeah. I honestly want to ask these people that submitted that and be what did it come down to for you? Why did you say that, right?
Why did they invite them, or why do they regret
having so many people?
I mean, probably those people aren't in their lives anymore, and they paid a lot of money for them to be there, and now they're not even.
That's got to be the number one, probably.
Yeah. Or maybe it was too stressful. We see this all the time. It's stressful. You feel like if someone made the effort to come to your wedding, you at least need to stop and say hi to them for 5 minutes. But if you have 150 people that you have to say hi to for 5 minutes, there's not enough time.
Yeah, 100%.
And then you're not present, you're not relaxed, you're not enjoying your day because you feel all this obligation.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, don't invite those people.
Yeah, trim that fat, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, this is an interesting one. Getting a DJ and not a band.
Yeah, that is an interesting one because I feel is it either maybe she or whoever submitted that really wanted a band and then just compromised for a DJ, or
Maybe they got a bad DJ.
Maybe yeah. Because I feel like they do different. It's totally
the vibe is way different.
Yeah.
I will say a band is so fun and interactive, and like the music's louder. You can feel it. It's like, that's like a great guest experience having a band.
But I can see that could be a hard decision because I'm assuming that most of the bands probably do it by hourly, right? And you're probably thinking, okay, just a couple hours, but then what happens throughout the rest of the night, right? And like how long do you have that band for?
Then maybe you need a DJ too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So,
but I will say every wedding I've been to that has had a band has been so fun.
Live
and honestly,
music.
like, live music, it just hits different.
It does.
People are not going to be sitting down chatting when there's live music.
It definitely adds to that it definitely adds to that guest experience and the ambience and everything around your wedding. Like, it just creates this really, really beautiful event.
Remember that wedding? It was your clients, but we shot it this summer at the camp, and they had a few bands, and it was so fun.
It was so amazing. Yeah. And they even had one of their friends just playing guitar during cocktail hour. Yeah. That was so cool.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah.
I think incorporating live music in any way is like great. Yeah. And you're supporting another artist.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have one you want to read?
Not getting a photo of just me and my mom. So we have talked about family photos before.
Yeah.
It's
I feel like
important.
I don't want to say it, but I'm going to. That's your photographer's fault. Because I make an effort at every single wedding to get a photo of you with your mom, you with your dad, you with your grandparents. Regardless, if you put that on the list or not, I'm getting that photo.
Yeah, that's such an important photo to have.
And that's so sad.
So I think, that goes into creating a family list, but we've talked about this before. It eats into your time as well. So having more of a condensed family list is great, but it is like your mom and your dad or your very special people, you should be able to have a photo with one of them at some point in the day. So making sure to add that if that's important.
Well, also carving out that time, right? If you weren't with your mom at all during the day and your mom was running around saying hi to all her friends that she brought, then maybe there wasn't an opportunity for you to have a photo together. But that is something that I do at every single wedding, no matter what.
Wow. Make sure to get a good photographer. That leads right into our next one.
Okay.
Not hiring a professional photographer.
I got a couple of those too.
Yeah, we get lots of those. So
guys,
that's a huge regret.
Do we even need to talk about this?
I'm sorry, but when you put so much time, effort, money into the smaller details, into the bigger details, the venue, the dress, everything, and then you skimp out on a photographer, it does not make sense to me, because that photographer is what captures all of those things that you spent money on and keeps the moment forever.
You don't get it back. You do not get it back. Once a cute moment has come and gone, that's it. You can't recreate it. It's over. So if you don't have a professional there capturing those, or if the photo is shitty, then it's gone.
Yeah.
Your memories of the day are gone.
Yeah. And even if you had a tight budget, photography should be your number one, because it can translate your day in such a beautiful way. Whereas like if you didn't have a lot of decor things, like hiring a professional, they'll know where to place you. Yeah. They know how to work with lighting. It's just,
This actually I've seen quite a few posts kind of about this, but there was just those horrible fires in LA and a ton of people lost everything.
Right.
And the most common thing people were sad about, or that were trying to go in and save, were photos. So
memories.
Yeah. In the moment, you might think, oh, it's too much. We're going to save some money and so we can get better flowers or whatever. Not picking on the florist. Those are important too. But the photos, you can spend a lot of money on the dress and the flowers, but if you don't have a photo of it,
then what's
the point?
Yeah.
So, obviously we're a little biased, but hire someone you trust, do your research, I always say it's better to have them there, a really good photographer there for less time than to have a really not good photographer there for the whole day.
100%.
So
that leads into videographers as well. That was a common one we got.
Yep. Not getting a videographer.
Yeah, this one says, not investing in a videographer I vibed with. Ours wanted to recreate moments all day. So that's a tough one.
We've worked with those.
We have. They are more directive and it's like more of they're filming a movie, which is not the case on wedding days, at least from my point of view. Like my approach is really candid, documentary style. Obviously, I would never have someone recreate a moment, but I would make my couple feel comfortable in doing something that maybe I needed for the film or something, but not recreating like moments that are happening throughout the day. That's where you hire a good videographer. They're going to catch those.
Because then all of a sudden your day isn't flowing naturally the way you wanted. Your like focus of the day is performing for someone who's taking your video. And then what the video isn't even of your day.
No.
It's of whatever movie they had in their head.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I worked with someone like that this summer. And it totally threw off my vibe. And I was really trying to just like let it go because that's not how I work at all. I'm very documentary. But my couple kind of picked up on it and they actually, which I never want to happen. They were like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yep, everything's fine." But this videographer was like messing with all of the candid moments. Something would happen and he'd be like, "That was so awesome. Like, do it again." And then they were like, "Wait, what?" So it took twice as long.
Yeah.
They were annoyed.
Yeah.
I was annoyed. It wasn't candid. And they were just like burnt out by the time we were done photos. So it was very sad to watch. I feel like you really need to be careful about who you're picking.
100%. And I feel like I'm about to steal this from someone. I think we recently heard someone say this, but the number one thing is if your clients have an amazing experience in person, they're immediately going to translate that feeling that they had while you were taking their photos to the photos.
Yes.
If they had a shitty time during the photos, they're going to look at their photos with a tainted view.
Yeah, that's so true.
I can't remember who said that. Maybe Miranda or something at ARC or something. But
very true.
Yeah. So that experience piece is massive, right? So vibing with your vendors.
And it's only one day. So if you're uncomfortable or annoyed for half the day, you're annoyed on your wedding day.
Yeah. And honestly, it's so sad to say, but this is the reality for most couples.
Yeah.
I feel bad for all of them, they're
anyone that didn't hire us.
Yeah.
Basically. Just kidding. There's so many amazing professionals out there. So hire them.
And a wedding is expensive. It's facts.
Yeah.
It's expensive.
If you're spending the money to do it, then you got to do it right.
You got to spend it. Yeah.
Actually, I think that would be an interesting episode is if we broke down the price. How much do photos cost?
Yeah.
How much do flowers cost? How much does a dress cost? Because I think when people start, they don't
have
know.
No idea.
So you see all these grand weddings on Instagram or Pinterest or whatever, but like that's
how are
not reality.
Couples creating their budgets too? I'm curious because usually you create your budget before you even know what things are cost, but like then people are blown away by like, oh my God, that's half our budget. Yeah. So that would be such a good episode to like kind of share, okay, this is how much it's going to cost, right?
I feel like too, this is such a common thing. We see it in like, I'm going to pick on Facebook a little bit, but it seems to be in a Facebook groups where people are like, anything to do with weddings is so much more expensive. Or like people want an arm and a leg for wedding services. But the reality is that wedding services are way more pressure. So that's why you might think, paying for a professional photographer is so expensive. But it's like we said, that's an investment in your day. So, yeah.
Exactly. Hey guys, sorry to interrupt.
If you're enjoying this episode, we would really appreciate it if you downloaded it.
Downloads are the best way for us to generate revenue.
The money helps us come out with new episodes and have more amazing guests.
Subscribe to the show to automatically download future episodes and make sure to leave us a rating and review. You can find us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube.
And share it with a friend.
We got one that says, not eloping. So much money, and it was so overwhelming at different times. And this is so true, right? Like, I think that's kind of the first conversation you need to have is like, do we want to have a wedding or do we want to elope? And what does that look like for us? Eloping obviously is a way different experience. It's completely different. It's a lot cheaper, or at least can be, depending on what you decide to do. A lot of that money you can put towards more of an experience.
Yeah, I think let's say you're having a small-ish wedding, it's going to be 20 to 30 grand. I'm just going to throw that number out there. Imagine being able to spend 20 or 30 grand on an elopement.
Oh my God.
That would be, you could go to the nicest hotel, the nicest destination. You could do so many things.
Yeah, exactly.
So
you can make it into more of a trip, or you utilize some of that money towards your honeymoon or something, right? So,
and I think it kind of goes back to that family piece too. If you already know that like your parents want to invite 20 people and your parent-in-laws want to invite 20 people and you're scared to have those conversations, you don't know how, maybe an elopement is the best choice, because it is very hard to narrow down a guest list. So if that's a big struggle, you can just not invite any of them.
I actually have a friend. I can't go into too much detail, but there was a lot of family pressures from the in-laws, and they ended up they knew what they wanted. They wanted a small, intimate wedding. It became this grand thing due to a lot of cultural and religious things. But then they had to have those hard conversations, had a new plan. Then they weren't happy with that. So it's just like all these pressures. They ended up just getting married one day.
I love that. Because that's what it's about.
Yeah.
It's about you two and your commitment to each other.
And it's sad because all this stress caused them to not even have what they wanted originally. They had to like alter their plans like 3 or 4 times. And it's just, it's really sad. So, but they're happy regardless. Like,
good.
Finally
it worked out the right way.
Yeah.
I do think it's okay to not ask everyone's opinion.
Yes.
If you got engaged and you're starting to wedding plan, you can just say, oh, we're not ready to talk about it, or, oh, we're figuring it out, just us. Like, you don't have to pull in the whole family and ask what they want, because it doesn't matter. It matters what you want.
Totally.
Yeah. So, yeah, elopement's always a good alternative, and you can have a sweet party after.
There was one that we got talking about an elopement. I think it was on...
not inviting my parents when I eloped.
Yes. That's tough. That's a tough one.
It's the choice you have to make.
Yeah. And so that's their biggest regret. So let's unpack that for a second. Because I think the pressure probably drew them to not inviting parents and just having it themselves. But that's something that you miss out on and could end up regretting, right?
And your parents are not going to let you forget about it.
Yeah.
if that's important to them. Yeah. I'm starting to like just think about wedding planning, and this is kind of what we've been talking about. We're like, we either just have our immediate families, because once you move from immediate families, then it's like, well, I'm inviting my best friend, I'm inviting mine, but then they have a partner. So all of a sudden, your little wedding is 50 people. So, I think it just depends on your dynamic with your parents. Maybe having that conversation with them and saying, is this really important for you to be there?
As morbid as this sounds, maybe thinking about how you'll feel when they're gone. Because I think people don't think about that very often. And it's like, sit down with yourself for a second and be like, okay, I don't want them there right now. But what if they aren't here anymore? How will I feel about that decision? And there you go. You got your answer. Right? So.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I don't know. We don't have all the answers, guys.
No, we don't.
Okay, on the topic of family, this one says, letting my mom make a scene at my wedding and it getting to me. So
no,
that's tough. That's
that is
really
so tough.
I think.
And happens honestly far too often.
Yeah. It's tough when you have a problematic family member and kind of like mentally preparing for that and learning how to let it go.
You would think that everyone would be like not selfish.
You would think, but we see it all the time.
And they wouldn't make the day about themselves, but
there's always one.
Happens.
There's always one. Not to pick on the moms, but sometimes it's the mom.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think if you know going into it that mom's going to be a problem, it's okay to not have her there for getting ready. It's okay to put her at a table with people that are going to like keep track of her. It's okay to like have those boundaries because ultimately it's your day. And it sounds like, unfortunately, someone's behavior like ruined the vibe of her day for her.
That
so
is not okay.
Yeah. Well, we're sorry that happened.
Yes.
Okay, not hiring a coordinator. We talk about this all the time.
Yes.
If you're having a wedding, you need a planner or a coordinator.
And they are not the same thing.
They are not the same thing.
Couldn't be further from
Do you want to say what the difference is?
Sure. A planner will actually help you from day dot up to the wedding day and like on the wedding day. And they will help with coordinating vendors, communication, styling, all of it. Whereas a coordinator, they show up on that day.
They're often, one comes with a venue.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh yeah, we have one with our venue. And I'm like, oh no.
They are strictly there to make sure things run on time. They are not there to like basically put out fires and and rework things. And
the reality is that there's a very high turnover in those positions, especially when they work for the venue. So you might get engaged and pick your venue and start working with someone. And then on the day of the wedding, that person no longer works there. So now you're working with some other random person.
This happens
that you don't know. This
lot.
happens all the time.
That is so frustrating because you basically have to like get to know someone brand new.
Yeah. Or that person doesn't even know how things work at the venue because they just started working there.
So hire a freaking planner.
Hire a planner.
Hire a planner.
We know so many. If you need us to tell you who they are, we will tell you.
Yeah.
There's some amazing ones in the city, and it will just make your life so much easier.
100%.
Yeah. Only bringing one pair of shoes.
Oh, okay. Big mistake.
And we
cute. We could go into shoes for like an hour, but definitely bring multiple pairs of shoes. Also, your shoes don't show typically under your dress. So like when you're thinking about it, if you want to bring a pair for like photos or something, if they're going to show or getting ready or whatever, cool.
Also, there's so many fun like sneakers and like cool stuff you could do
Wear
later.
The comfy shoes.
Yeah, it will ruin your day.
Quite literally. Yeah.
It ruined this person's day. Their biggest regret. Wish we did all our photos first so we could enjoy a cocktail hour with our guests.
Oh, I got a few of that.
Love this topic.
Yeah.
How do you handle this with your clients when you're like helping them with their timeline?
I say, well, first of all, I ask them like, is that something that you want to attend or be a part of? 9 times out of 10, it is a yes. They want to be there at least for a little bit of it, and we make it work. We figure out the timing and the photos, and typically we can just. What will eat up that time is the family photos, because logistically just having it at that time works so much better than herding everyone to a different location or prior to the ceremony. But yeah, we make it work. What about you?
Yes, I basically insist that my clients be at cocktail hour because those are usually the best photos of the day.
They are.
And even if you don't think you're going to regret it and you're like, no, we just want to go take photos. No, you don't. You're going to leave your party to go stand in a field with me for like an hour? No. We're going to be there. I would rather cut short portrait time and you have less portraits and more time with your guests. Because Your wedding day is not a photo shoot.
Oh,
it is your wedding day.
This is true.
Yeah.
Also, those photos, a lot of my couples say that it's really important for them to have pictures of the guests. And the only times that we can do that is during cocktail hour and reception during speeches. And usually the speeches are a tough one. People are laughing or crying. It's those are great emotional stuff, but
or there's like
we
stuff on
don't
the
shoot
table.
during eating.
No.
You know?
No.
So cocktail hour is the best. It's the best lighting. It's the best vibes.
Everyone's happy. The drinks are flowing. Everyone's hugging, shaking hands.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It's the best.
You need to be there.
Yeah.
Why would you pay for your guests to have an epic party that you can't be at? You got to be there.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
So plan your day accordingly. We will help you plan your timeline to be there. My venue. There was nothing cool when I got married in 2016. Okay, so this is also something that like I feel like we're pretty passionate about. Your venue will make or break your day.
Just so it's so dramatic. I love it.
It is dramatic, Sophia. It will ruin your day. No, okay, here's what I just wrote about this in a blog post. If you have an ugly venue, you're going to spend so much money trying to make it look nice.
Yeah.
If you just pay a little bit more money for a nice venue, you're going to save money because you don't need to it's like didn't Danny say it's like putting lipstick on a pig?
Yeah.
Like if the venue's ugly, the photos aren't going to be great.
No.
There's not a lot to work with.
Well said. Like, honestly, that was perfect.
What makes a venue good?
Lighting.
Yes.
Walls.
Yes.
Windows.
Carpet. I'm not going to call them out, but there is a really beautiful venue in the mountains that unfortunately has this like hideous carpet. And that's in every photo. Yeah. So you can have beautiful flowers, but they're on this like ugly carpet. So.
Ooh, chairs.
I just saw this yesterday in someone's
Miranda's.
Yes. Yeah. Miranda's getting a lot of airtime today. Hi, Miranda. Yeah, chairs are in like every photo.
Yeah.
So get the nice ones. They're not that much more. There's nothing worse than seeing those plastic folding chairs.
And even the like fabric over top of chairs. I don't like that.
I hate that. Get the wood chairs, get those clear chairs, get the gold chairs.
It's odd to me. I don't even know. This is amazing.
No.
Okay, this is a common one for me on my story. A lot of people said not doing a first look.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you care? Like, what do you like more?
I love first looks.
Yeah.
And I think you want to know why? Because you still get the down the aisle, moment. You still get that moment, but you get an additional moment with doing a first look. And it's just like takes off the pressure and the anxieties, and you get to see your partner. And it's just, I think that's just, I love them.
It's usually what I've noticed because I always ask this in consultation so we can kind of like talk through how much time they're going to need me for on the day. And it's usually the groom that doesn't want to have a first look because he wants to have that moment of seeing her for the first time walking down the aisle, which I understand. But here's the sort of like disclaimer of that is it's going to be so much easier for us to capture his expression seeing her when there's not a bunch of people around. We can control the lighting. Yeah. Also, he'll see her so much more clearly when it's just her walking towards him. And like you said, I don't think you lose that moment of walking down the aisle. Like you still have that, but you're just able to be more present during your ceremony because you've kind of got those nerves out already privately. So if you're going to have a big emotion, like start crying or whatever, you can do that in peace, not with everyone watching you.
Yeah. And I think that it gives you an opportunity to, 1, join your cocktail hour.
Yep.
2, have a better laid out timeline, get those photos done prior, and then you can enjoy the rest of your event. Your guests aren't waiting so far in between from ceremony to reception. There's a lot of benefits of having a first look.
You can actually spend the day with each other.
Yeah.
Because sometimes ceremonies aren't until 5 o'clock. So that's the whole day that on your day for the two of you that you didn't spend together.
Yeah.
So I love a first look.
Yeah,
I
me
mean,
too.
I love both. I
Yeah.
wouldn't say I have a preference, but.
And again, it's your day. You can choose whatever you want. But if you're not doing a first look, don't hire me. I'm just kidding.
Cold.
I totally kidding.
You can hire me. I'll still work for you.
Do you have more there? I have a couple
pretty
more.
much. Well, this one's interesting. We did elevated appies, but wish we had an actual sit-down dinner.
Oh.
And yes, I've observed that too.
That relates to one that I just have here, not eating the food.
Yeah.
So
We see this all the time.
Yes.
If you have a planner, you know what they're going to do? They're going to set all the appies aside on a plate for you so that while you're out there mingling and saying hi or getting your photos done or whatever, you can come back and have a plate of all the beautiful food that you tested and paid for. Because we see all the time people don't get to eat it.
I know.
And what a shame.
It is a shame.
Yeah.
I wonder, so instead of appies, she wanted to sit down after.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I've kind of seen that. I feel like it is, maybe you get to like kind of mingle and see your guests more, but having that minute, then you're on your feet mingling for the entire day. Dinner's kind of like a minute for you to sit beside your partner, connect, rest your feet for a minute, regroup, eat some food, hydrate.
And then get back to it.
Because that's a long day if you're sort of mingling around. And also, that's so fun getting to sit at a table with like, as a guest, getting to sit with a table full of people and chat and bond. And I feel like maybe you lose that a little bit.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
I have one other one, or I have two more.
All right.
Big wedding party.
Yeah, we hear this a lot. They're a nightmare.
I love it. I have so many cuts from this video I want to do. It's so good. Yeah, big wedding party. I feel like the regret might be in the same aspect of like inviting too many people. Maybe you thought you had to have the same number of, or on either side. And
Wait, do you?
No, you don't.
No, you don't.
You don't.
You don't have to.
And it also, like, it's more expensive for everyone to have a bigger wedding party. I think it brings the vibes, but it can definitely get out of control.
Yeah, I think the more people you incorporate into your day, whether it be guest or wedding party, every single person takes a little bit away of your experience.
Yeah.
So.
Or ads.
Yeah.
But
yes and no. Okay. They
certain
do.
People.
But like, it's more about them and less about you.
Yeah,
I guess
true.
Is what I'm trying to say. So if you have 10 bridesmaids, and I've shot a wedding that had 10 bridesmaids and 10 groomsmen.
Jeez.
And let me tell you, it was fucking chaos.
Yeah.
Because imagine 10 girls getting ready. Do you think they're all going to be calm and loving their outfit and having a mellow time keeping the bride calm? No.
It's like statistics.
It is crazy.
Like the more people you add to the equation, the more chances of
nuts.
something bad happening.
Trying to gather 22 people for a photo.
Also logistics of like travel and different transportation, everything. There's so much to think about.
It was fun. I'll say that. It was fun, but not for me. No. It was fun for them.
Yeah.
But like, it's hurting cats.
Funny.
Like all day you're trying to gather all those people for photos.
Okay, here's the last one, and this is a long one. She said, "I will DM you." Okay, so I'm reading this for the first time. This is one of my past brides, so I'm curious to see.
Hopefully, it's not about you.
Yeah. As you know, ours was during COVID, so I regret not paying you the full amount to have you stay longer for photos during our dance and fireworks. I also regret not getting some special video taken.
So her regrets were like not having you there long enough and not getting video.
Basically. And then the other thing was it rained the whole time. I remember this. We were drenched. So she wishes she had taken a hairdryer to her dress so that she could like wear it longer.
Yeah.
She changed out of her dress because it was just so wet.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
But you can't control the weather, unfortunately.
Can't control the weather.
And she embraced it. She did such a good job that day. So
that's all you can do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think working closely with your photographer and videographer to make sure that they're there for the right amount of time is so key. Because yes, people have budgets, but I see people coming to me with these expectations and they're trying to fit a 10-hour day into 6 hours. And I already know it's not going to work. And that takes away from their experience of being relaxed and enjoying their day, allowing for those candid moments to happen.
Right.
If you're rushing around all day, there's no time to have a candid photo of you and your mom or to have those sweet moments. So I think you're already making that commitment to hire someone, just add on the extra time.
100%.
Yeah.
I think the average time, in case no one knows this, is like for the people that aren't actively planning or whatnot, is the average time for photography, videography for the events of your day, roughly, this is the average, 8 to
10.
8 to 10, yeah.
Yeah.
I see sometimes it needs to be 12. I know.
Don't call me.
We don't.
I'm not coming for 12 hours.
I've added on some hours for certain people, but it's because it's a very relaxed day.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit spaced out. Or there's travel between venues. That's where it eats up some of your time. So that comes back to having one venue that does everything. That'll give you a more cohesive
you're just not wasting time.
Also,
talk to the professionals that you're hiring. Like, this is what we do. I can look at a timeline right away and be like, this isn't going to work. And I love that. I love being able to work with my couples because then it's kind of on me to make it unfold that way. If I'm committing to like, nope, you only need 8 hours and I'll get it done. Then like,
exactly.
We know.
I love that you said that because we won't look at something and be like, oh yeah, we should be there for 10 hours if we don't need to be.
No.
Like, we don't want to just be standing around.
No.
So
we're tired.
It's an 8-hour day.
We want to go.
It's an 8-hour day, right? But if it's a 10-hour day, we're going to suggest that you need the
I'm never going to be trying to sell someone more time.
No.
Because I don't want to be, it's boring. I don't want to stand around if nothing's happening.
Exactly.
So hire a professional that's been through it, that knows how a day flows. This goes back to like spending the money to get a good photographer because we've been through it and that's part of our expertise.
100% well said.
Okay, well, cut all your guest lists in half. Don't have a wedding party.
What did we take from this episode?
Have 10 outfit changes, comfy shoes.
There's a lot of varied regrets out there. It was really interesting reading some of these, honestly, because some were like, oh yeah, no brainers. I totally thought of that.
But still, like, even though it's a no brainer, it like makes me sad that their wedding's been and gone and they're like still kind of bummed out about part of it. So we can help you prevent those.
And for anyone listening, if you have some wedding regrets, we're constantly posting videos on our TikTok and Instagram. So if you want to DM us or message us directly with your story or your regrets, we will make a part 2 of this.
Yeah, guys, we're trying to be famous on TikTok. So
go find us
help
there.
us.
Well, amazing. Cheers.
This was good. Cheers. Hopefully this helped some people.
And hopefully no more regrets in the future.
Hopefully not. Regret-free weddings for 2025.
Love that.
Love it.
Are you sitting at your computer editing right now? If so, why?
Let Imagen AI do it for you and get back to doing what you love.
We are so excited to be working with Imagen AI.
Imagen is the industry-leading post-production platform. They're a team driven to build tools that let photographers spend more time doing what they love instead of at their computers.
Visit the link in our show notes to get started with Imagen and claim your free edits today.